So if it's okay, I'll just start with Poppy, if that's okay. So I'm just going to ask everybody more or less the same, but if you can introduce yourself and the name of your film and just a little bit about your film and what inspired you to make it.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Poppy Bishop. Oh, sorry. I've got a bit of a head cold, so I sound a bit weird. My film is called Maple and the Book of Wishes. I came across the idea I was actually editing a YouTube video, and then I was looking for royalty-free music to put in the background.
Yeah.
And I heard this like cinematic kind of like song, and I started having ideas coming into my head for the movie, and I thought let's try and make a movie. And so I got in touch with my cousin who actually plays Maple, and we made the movie, and we thought it was pretty good, so we thought we'd enter it into the competition. And yeah,
that is super, and that is very entrepreneurial of you as well. You know, it's brilliant to hear from young people as young as you, because you have such a good sort of entrepreneurial spirit and I get up and go. And
yeah,
you know, to sort of when you have an idea, you can put your mind to it. And I know each of you are like that, I suppose, because you did manage to make a film and do all the necessary things to submit it to Cinemagic as a festival. So that's not to be underestimated, because there's a lot of work involved in that, and we really want to commend you for that. Okay, Poppy, that's great. We'll maybe chat to you again in a little while. But
okay.
That's great. Thank you. Over to Luke then next. Hi, Luke, how are you?
Hey everyone, so my film was Diverse Madeira, and it was a documentary that I made on my holiday in Madeira. So as everyone here, like as a younger filmmaker, I feel obviously very honoured to be chosen out of, as I heard, of all the people that submitted, you choosing our films really is a huge honour, and makes putting in all that time in the edit and finding the perfect song and writing the voiceover, it all just brings it all together and makes it feel so special. And I was only 15 when I made that.
Yes, look, well, that's it. And thank you so much, because the talent that is obviously obvious with the film, you know, is excellent. And I think as well, you know, hopefully it all gives you a little bit more encouragement to keep on doing what you're doing as well. And look, briefly, what actually, are you able to put on your video at the moment, or is it just audio? If that's okay if it is audio.
We're just, because we're setting up, because we're actually filming at the moment, so if it's easier, I'll just keep on audio.
Yeah, that's fine, unless you want to give us an exciting look behind the scenes of what you're filming. But yeah, no, thank you. And with your film then, what, you know, couple of challenges might you have had, just, you know, in terms of getting your film made? Like, what are you now proud of that you kind of overcame?
So because it was in Madeira, the heat was definitely a big factor, especially for the camera gear, keeping it all cool to keep filming, because we were filming lots and lots of footage, and with the places, because we really wanted it to have that remote feeling, like make you feel like you're with nature in the film. There was tons and tons of hiking to get to some of the different locations.
Yeah, and it's something that is very different in terms of a set of factors to, you know, take on board compared to if you were filming it in the UK. And yes, absolutely, an added challenge. And I suppose you did learn quite a lot from that as well, in terms of shooting on location too.
Yeah, well, it's really good from a creative point of view, because you have to look at every location and work out where you can get like the most cinematic shots. Like I would look and I thought, right, this is a really nice tree, let's shoot through the tree to add some depth to the image.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, look, I know you are on a bit of a time limit tonight, just because you are filming, but that's brilliant, just to get a little overview from the film. Everyone will be able to see each other's films, obviously, in the showcase online in a couple of weeks. So at least this gives you a little flavour of Luke's film as well. So when you do see it, it gives you that little insight to it. So thanks a million, Luke.
Thank you so much.
Okay, speak to you soon. Thank you. Great. Okay, well, sure. Next, we will go over to Shayna. You're very welcome. Thanks a million for making time tonight. Can you introduce your film for us and give us a little background to it and what it's about?
Of course. Well, my film is basically called Alamid, and it's about a boy who has electrical powers, and they're living in America. And I just wanted to create a piece about family and the connection that a child can have with their parents, and the fact that a child can do whatever it takes to even keep their parents safe, just to return the favor, because parents are always there for us. And I was inspired by the animated music video of Birds by Imagine Dragons. I saw the style of it and I thought it was really nice, and I really wanted to replicate something of that. And this was my first animation ever, so it was definitely a steep learning curve to make it in the first place. And I was inspired by so many animations along the way as well, so I wanted to replicate something like that.
Well, that is excellent and such an achievement to be your first animation. So well done on that. And anything that we can help you with in terms of animation opportunities, please do always get in touch with us, and we'll be able to signpost you if that is an area that you're interested in pursuing. And what about audiences then who will be looking forward to your film in the festival? What would you like them to take away from the film? Have you got anything sort of overall that you would like to put out as a message from the film?
Well, firstly, I think the audience that my film is gearing towards is more of children, and I just want them to know that it's okay to love your parents, because you shouldn't be embarrassed of them or whatever they're doing for you, because they're always there for you, and it's not a bad thing to love them back.
It certainly isn't. Well, that I think is a super universal message as well, that hopefully will resonate with a lot of young people and older people as well, of course. Well, that's brilliant. Thanks so much, and we look forward to seeing the film in the showcase. Thanks, Shayna.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Well, that's great. You're very welcome. Okay, well, Aodhán, are you okay to give us a little introduction next? You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Well, my name's Aodhán, and I'm 17. Well, actually, I turned 18 3 days ago. Just forgot about that there. I'm entered into the...
Happy 18.
18 now, but I'm in the under 18 category.
Yeah.
My short film is a documentary, and it was made in April of this year during the lockdown.
Yep.
It is called Coronavirus, Overcoming Adversity as a Community. And it's pretty much just a short film which showcases the unique sense of community. In my town, I'm from Derry, or Londonderry, and there was a lot of people around my area, particularly individuals, charities, groups, businesses, services, schools, everything like that. They were all coming together and supporting each other like a bond, and they were really helping the more kind of vulnerable people in the community. And I wanted to highlight that. I wanted to make this short video and highlight them positive stories, to show the generosity of the community here in Derry, and just basically give recognition that is well deserved. And I personally, like, even with the difficult times during the crisis, even though we're still going through it and it's getting worse than it was now before, I just think it's astounding how the community can pull together and overcome such problems. And I think it's going to be such a great thing to look back on in the future and reflect on. So I'm really proud of my town, and I'm sure, like, if maybe in the future a problem like this ever comes around, then we always have the reassurance that we're always going to have someone there that can help, because we've seen it before, so it's always going to happen again. If there's a problem, there's always someone there to help, definitely. And the people, the organizations that get involved in this type of stuff, They deserve the recognition, and not only here but everywhere around the world. It's absolutely great. Such a unique sense of community.
Well, that is fantastic, Aodhán, and I think it's so important to showcase a film like this as well. And it's really about the human spirit too. At the end of the day, isn't it? And
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, very much a bit similar to Shayna, and you know, talking about you know, the relationships between parents and children. And at the end of the day, it is all about people helping each other and people having that bond where they want to help people. And I think especially over the last couple of months, it's so important actually to get that message out there, because there are so many organizations that are there to help, and there are so many wonderful individual people and neighbors and, you know, official community organizations and things. And for you to get that across in a film was just a great achievement. And I think something that, you know, time and time again, people will be able to watch this film, you know, as a moment in time as well.
It's history.
And it is like a bit of a time capsule, I suppose, to the time. So we thought that was so important, you know, to be able to acknowledge that and show that in this particular film package as well. And we know that audiences will really enjoy the film and nearly sit back and take stock of the last couple of months as well. So thank you, and very entrepreneurial and productive of you during lockdown to actually film this. And you know, it was no mean feat, I'm sure, because of all of the restrictions and all of that, and you know, daily life was not easy. So to put your sort of energy into something like this is so worthwhile. So well done on actually getting it all produced for a film as well. That's excellent. Thank you, Aodhán.
Thank you.
Okay, well then let me see. Sorry, I'm just making sure everybody's counted for. Cerys, you're very welcome. Are you happy to introduce your film and tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, hi, my name's Cerys, and my film was called What Is Life to You? I really wanted it to be like about, due to what's been going on, I wanted to be about like what's important to me as a person. Like it was very inspired by like the surroundings around me, the people around me, and yeah, it was one of my first films, and I was very excited to make this.
Well, that's incredible as well that it is one of your first films, and such a brilliant achievement. If you're sort of an emerging filmmaker and you're just getting into this world, I suppose. And what did you find challenging then making the film, just so others can hear maybe how you overcame certain things, or you know, overall maybe everything went to plan? Did that is that something you experienced?
I found that like it was a little bit difficult filming it due to the restrictions, but I overcame them, and I was very like happy with what came out of it. And yeah.
Well, that is excellent, and again, to be commended, and being on the shortlist, and again, just that sort of productive nature of young people, and particularly yourselves, because you are putting your energies into something that's very creative, but also something that's getting a message across to the wider, you know, the wider community. Thank you. Well, we all look forward to seeing it as part of the showcase as well. So thanks a million. Okay, Leia, you are very welcome to tonight. Thank you for making the time to be involved. So can you tell us a little bit about your film, just the name, and a little bit just about how the film came about?
Yeah, hello, I'm Leia, and my film was called Forever in Our Hearts. Basically, during lockdown, and with quarantine, there wasn't much you can do, like especially outside. So in this time, I decided to learn about how to make films, as it was always a big passion of mine. So I tried to do everything inside the house. I didn't have to go anywhere. And this film idea came after I heard about the the passing of Aodhán, who was one of the greatest violinists of the 20th century. I played the violin, and I had the privilege to meet her myself and play for her personally between my concerts in America 2 years ago. And after I heard about her passing, it made me extremely upset, and I really wanted to pay tribute to her in some way. And you know, she made a really strong impression on me, and I just felt like I wanted to make a film to show tribute to her, and that, you know, that even though she's gone, she will always forever be in our hearts.
And the film is like a news report, like a news documentary.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, sort of as a style? Because I know you have a YouTube channel that is very much like a news report and a news channel on the way that you document current affairs and things. So it would be brilliant just to hear about that, and you know, how your film sort of fits in as part of that, as one of your many sort of hobbies and interests.
Yeah, before lockdown, I didn't really explore much into filmmaking, but afterwards, I just tried, especially like this type of news program. I thought it was something very interesting to look to, and it's just a very interesting way of conveying a message. So I just learned, you know, how to use the green screen, the teleprompter, putting all the images together, and OBS Studio and all those things. And I just learned all of them.
And what well, I was going to say then, that was nearly like, to date, a bit of an A to Z of, you know, how to create a short film using all of those techniques. And overall, just with this film, it's a very human story and a very sensitively told film. What would you like audiences to take away from it?
When I made this film, the only like main goal I wanted was to let Ida's legacy, you know, live on, and to pay tribute and show the audience what an amazing personality she was.
And tell us how you came up with the name
Well,
of Mars.
well, it was a lot about just because I always had the idea in my head of like the reason that I wanted to do it, because it was more about just the fact that it's more of like a young woman wanting to like make her way in the world, but obviously it's harder for her than if she was like a boy. So she so I decided to use like a mission to Mars as a kind of thing that usually would be like not wouldn't be included in the process. So I decided to put that in the mix.
And tell us then about the overall making of the film. You know, so much of it involved the hard work of actually drawing and cutting out the characters and all of that, but then there is a blend of animation style in it. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, it's a lot about, well, the whole process of just having to do it yourself. For me, it just made it a lot like nicer, because I didn't just do it on a computer or anything like that. I just actually like did it all by hand. What's funny is that just like I used my just like my little tablet and my music stand as a thing to hold it, and I just did it during quarantine because, yeah.
That is excellent. Well, it's such an achievement. We were really impressed with it, and we just think it deserved so much to be shortlisted in the festival. And just overall then, is the idea behind the film, you know, is that a message that you would like then to promote, and just a message that you want to get out there?
Definitely, like it's a lot of
because I'm very like into all the feminist movement and all that, because there's no difference like to me in general, because it's not because of that very intelligent and hardworking women can't do as well as men in life because of their gender. So yeah.
Well, that is excellent and a brilliant message to get across, and what better platform than film, to get that across as well.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.